What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C4, bringing you part 3 of my Philadelphia Eagles mock season. I guess 1.0. This could change drastically, especially for this part, which is going to be my mock draft. Obviously, you get the combine stuff. It will change some things, but we're going to give you my full 7th round mock draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. As always, a little bit. The part 2 was free agency, and part 1 was in-housekeeping. So if you haven't checked those videos out, make sure you do it right now. The general consensus is that, according to my own statistics, on the Philadelphia Eagles message board, they have a mock draft / offseason forum. I have the most viewed that I could see just quickly. I didn't really like super into. I'm not like bragging, but the most viewed fresh offseason and mock draft and stuff like that on the board. So obviously, if you're on there, check it out. If not, just take my word for it that being the most viewed, obviously the most viewed means the best, according to some of these big fucking YouTubers. But a lot of guys are enjoying and really agreeing with what I have to say here. Obviously, I'm probably the smartest fucking Eagles fan of all time. Anyway, let's come back down to planet Earth. We're doing our full 7th round mock draft. I'm going to try to be as adept and realistic as possible. So yeah, without further ado, first round pick. I have us taking Trae Waynes, the cornerback from Michigan State. He's a projected first round pick. I'm not too sure about people thinking that he won't be there. A lot of guys think he might be off the board by now. But I think that the other corner-starved teams pick after us. Carolina, Baltimore, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh all need a corner. But I believe that we can play spoiler of the dream pick, much like the Jets and Packers did to us this past draft. Obviously, the Packers taking Clinton Dix, who had 2 big interceptions against the Seattle Seahawks, even though it didn't end up too well. But I think Trae Waynes is pro-ready. He can be our starter from day one. It also brings the size Chip Kelly wants. He's like 6'1". The other, corner that could be available here is Marcus Peters from the University of Washington, but he does have some character issues, which I think, right at I don't think Chip Kelly's going to bring him in. A lot of people say he's the best corner of the draft. I've seen him before. He is really, really talented, but I think Chip will take the other big-bodied, not nearly as risky pick in Trae Waynes. If we don't move up from Marcus Mariota, baby. There we go, dress corner with the first-round pick. In the second round, I've taken Cody Prewitt, the safety from Ole Miss. He's a projected second-round pick and the leader of the Landshark defense that Ole Miss had this year. Cody Prewitt's been a guy that I've wanted since the beginning of last year's draft. As I stated above in our last video where I was saying that if Eagles want to go safety in free agency, most of the free agency safeties to complement Malcolm Jenkins are cover guys. And I think that personally, obviously with how weak our secondary was this year, having 2 cover safeties might not be the worst thing, but I think to complement Malcolm Jenkins, you need your big hitter, the guy's going to cause turnovers from fumbles and stuff like that, and that's Cody Prewitt. Cody Prewitt brings the number at 6'2", 220. There's definitely no pushover in the athlete. I think he'll probably run like a 4.7, so he's not just like a big fucking, typical 1980s safety that is slow as shit, but just a big hitter. Like I said, 6'2", 220, ideal size that Chip Kelly's looking for. The only real option at the second round of safety, if you don't get him, is Gerod Holliman from Louisville, who had like 14 or 15 fucking interceptions this year in college. Is another option here, but I expect we'd probably have to move up a little bit because I think he'll be, in the very probably top 10 picks in the second round. And he's much more of a cover safety than a hitter. I don't even think he's had one big hit in his career. He's just 100% interception man. So yeah, Cody Prewitt is the big time hitter that we need in the second round. So there, bang bang, get your corner, get your safety, your secondary is fucking good. Now in the third round, our third round pick was really, really tough. This probably is, I will say right now, my most unrealistic, uncertain pick. It is Ifo Ekpreolumnu, the cornerback from Oregon. Was a projected first round pick, had the really, really bad injury. My only justification is for this because most mocks have him going in the second and third round. Depends if a team's really, really sold on him, he will go in the second. But I've seen just from quick analysts of players that have, had that ACL, MCL type injury, they have slipped to the third round. It's typically where a talented guy like that, but with a bad injury, falls. And if his draft stock is worse than expected, I could use Chip. Philadelphia has 2 4th-rounders this year from the trade where they sent Bryce Brown to Buffalo. I could see Chip trading one of those 4th-rounders and the 3rd-rounder to move up and get Ekpreolumnu if he's still there in the third. I think that, like I said, he's a Chip Kelly guy. Obviously, he's not the size that they want. And this is still like if they get another corner, if they get Byron Maxwell or something like that in free agency, I don't think they will use this pick. Obviously, taking 2 corners when you already get a big free agency sign at corner doesn't make a lot of sense, especially with Brandon Boykin still on the roster. But like I said, you can't really use a mock draft with a mock offseason because they kind of go in correlation with each other. You're not going to want to double up. But assuming that you didn't look at my free agency thing, Ekpreolumnu, even though people are saying he's not the size, he's not 6'1", I think he's 5'10". Asante Samuel was 5'10", and he was the best fucking corner guy we've had in Philly for the last decade. So, plus it makes sense. Chip Kelly, Oregon guy. And if he can regain form, this will be the draft pick of the year because he does have that first round talent. He would be one of those mid-round home runs that Jeff Lurie keeps talking about. Every time you ask Jeff Lurie about why, these big teams, the Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots, are always perennial, Super Bowl contenders, is because they hit home runs in the 3rd and 4th and 5th round. And I think if, obviously, injuries barring, Illumina will be that 3rd round home run pick if we can get him there. But like I said, very, very tough. A lot of things have to move into place. But that's my mock. So, looking at the first round pick, or the first pick in the 4th round, I think Philly goes Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver from Maryland. He's currently a projected 4th round pick. I'm not too sure Chip isn't satisfied / too stubborn to want to use a mid-round pick on a wideout. But Chip always preaches you can never have too many weapons. And Stephon Diggs, if he declares, I don't know at the time, I haven't looked into it, but I'm pretty sure he's declaring, was here. It wasn't too long ago that Stephon Diggs was regarded the top wide receiver freshman in college, along with Dorial Green-Beckham. Diggs has that 6 feet tall, I think he's 6 feet exactly, but he also offers Deshaun Jackson speed, the game-breaking speed that Josh Huff was kind of expected to have, but doesn't really offer that to the offense. I think Diggs has a lot of developing to do, but if he could eat into Riley Cooper's playing time and take advantage, unlike Josh Huff did this year, Jeremy Maclin, Jordan Matthews, Stephon Diggs' future receiving core sounds very, very fucking juicy. Fucking juicy. Like I said, Diggs, I think Chip can get the best out of any wide receiver he wants, especially in this offense. And even though Diggs is a bit of a project player, has a lot of the raw tools to be an absolute steal in this draft. Now with the second pick in the 4th round, I have Philly taken Bryce Petty, the quarterback from Baylor. Bryce Petty is currently projected as a 3rd to 4th round pick, and I see Chip Kelly getting on a prospect at quarterback here. Obviously, if he doesn't get up and try to trade for Marcus Mariota or something like that. Bryce Petty, this is a bit of a stretch because he is a 3rd, 4th round grade. I think he's going to be excellent. But if he's not here, I still think they get a quarterback, and Garrett Grayson from Colorado State would be the guy you swap out and it's a lot more realistic that Garrett Grayson would be here. But I think both these, Bryce Petty and Garrett Grayson, are my 2 Derek Carr sleepers of this draft. I think both are going to be have the potential to be the best quarterbacks from this draft 5 years down the road. Both these players have underrated speed. It can make quick reads as well as offer the deep ball threat, which is exactly what Chip Kelly needs. Both are better options right now than Matt Barkley is. Like I said, I don't hide my hatred for Matt Barkley. He's trash. But like I said, if you're coming down, if both players are available, I take Bryce Petty over Garrett Grayson because he has the bigger game experience. But like I said, Garrett Grayson is probably a little bit more of a safer pick. This is a mock. I'm going to fucking get the best player available, and there's definitely a chance that Bryce Petty will be around in the 4th round. And I would love that. I would love either Bryce Petty or Garrett Grayson there. Moving on to the 5th round. This is where I'm taking Tony Washington, the outside linebacker from Oregon, currently projected as a 5th, 6th round pick. I think similar to Josh Huff, Chip will reach for one of his college guys, and he looked fantastic in the Rose Bowl. And as a type of athletic pass rusher, Chip and fans have been calling for the outside position. And he could be a steal and work his way past Marcus Smith in the coming offseason. I think Tony Washington, big long body, good athleticism. I think that if he has a really strong combine, he can really, really boost his draft stock. But I think he's going to probably around the 5th round. And like I said, if he's a 5th, 6th round pick, I can see Chip Kelly making sure he gets him in the 5th round because he is obviously a Chip Kelly type guy. In the 6th round, I have Philly taking Eric Lefeld, the tackle from Cincinnati. He's another athletic offensive tackle with a 6th round grade who definitely could still stand to put on some weight, but he will be able to develop behind Jason Peters as our potential replacement. Luckily for all Eager fans, Jason Peters doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon, so use a guy with a lot of upside that's going to be more of a late round pick. Cincinnati seems to have a lot of ties to there's a lot of players from Cincinnati on Philadelphia. I know that was probably a little bit more of an Andy Reid thing, but I think that getting someone like a project tackle that can play and develop behind Jason Peters is going to be a really, really big plus. And in the 7th round, I have John Feliciano, the guard from Miami. Chip Kelly's been watching him a lot at the Shrine Bowl. He's projected a 7th round / undrafted free agent grade, but he's a solid part of the U's O-line that helped Duke Johnson, who's a phenomenal running back, to have a huge year, as well as gave freshman quarterback Brad Kaya a lot of time in the pocket. Obviously, you need a really good O-line when you have a freshman quarterback that wasn't really projected to be a starter. Obviously, the U, they had, I can't remember his name, but their starting quarterback went down, so they had to go to the freshman Brad Kaya. I think that Feliciano is groomed to improve at least our depth on the position of the O-line, especially with the uncertainty of Todd Harriman if he comes back or not. I think that getting a guy that I think is going to be super, super sleeper at guard position, this guy has potential to be our future left or right guard. I'm not sure exactly what Chip Kelly would want to do there, but getting a guy in the 7th round, like I said, another potential home run late round pick. So, there you have it, guys. There is my first 1.0 mock draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. We have Trae Waynes in the first round, Cody Prewitt in the second round, Eifel Ekpre-Oluminu in the third round, both Stephon Diggs and Bryce Petty in the fourth round, Tony Washington in the fifth round, Eric Lefeld in the sixth round, and John Feliciano in the seventh round. As always, make sure you subscribe to Beast Mode TV. More Eagles videos, having a lot. If you want to be very, very informed for the draft I have, I'm going to be releasing top fives for every position, as well as giving pro comparisons for all the draft prospects this year as I did last year. So stay tuned, subscribe for that. Until next time, it's your boy C4, saying peace